Matthias. I am a financial analyst by day, and I'm a volunteer humanitarian by heart. And I have formed, together with some colleagues, a nonprofit organization that over the past odd 6 months or so has been doing lots of advocacy work, specifically with regards to Haiti and post-earthquake reconstruction, humanitarian relief, also with a view on long-term, sustainable, ecological and community-driven development projects. The truth is there's over 1 million people left in displacement camps at this time, and we're looking at 2 days ago was the 1-year anniversary of the Haitian earthquake. What has happened since then? I've been back there on numerous occasions ever since January 12, 2010, and I have to tell you I don't see much improvement. Rubble is still piled up on plots and lots where people used to have houses. Those houses that have been, or those plots that have been cleared, way is being made to construct middle-class, semi-detached or detached homes for middle-class people. Where are all the folks going that are currently living in tent cities that used to live in overpopulated, high-density, overpopulated slum areas? Cholera is spreading, and it's spreading further outside of the major metropolitan areas at an unprecedented rate. In fact, the area that we're going to visit next week has started to see its first cholera cases ever since December 13, if I'm not mistaken. So problems are getting worse, and the situation is getting entrenched to a point where it becomes doubtful that these tent cities will ever be removed, and they could become permanent, and they could become the new generation of slums. People there, friends of mine, people that I know, people that we work with, tell us about the situations there. It's situations of insecurity, especially young women and children at night cannot venture outside of their tents. They share tents, 10, 15 people at once. There's crime, there's violence, there's lack of food and safe water, there's lack of sanitation. The question beckons, where has the money that has been pledged to Haiti, starting with the International Donor Conference on March 31st here in New York at the United Nations, where nations came together to pledge over $10 billion in reconstruction aid. Where has this money gone? And the sad matter is that even out of the $1.15 billion that the U.S. has pledged, only a tiny fraction has been dispersed at this point in time. I can't give you a source because I don't remember it, but I have heard statistics saying that only 1.6% of the money that has actually been spent is going towards the Haitian people, is going towards helping them tangibly and directly in their day-to-day needs. The rest, where does the rest go? As I was saying earlier, it's one example only. It goes towards the construction of things that nobody really needs. It goes to the construction of things that serve political and vested interests, some of them or many of them coming even from overseas and abroad. So it's a very difficult situation right now, looking at the humanitarian implications from not just the earthquake, but now made worse by the spread of cholera. And this is only talking about the major metropolitan areas where a lot of attention is being focused on. Nobody looks at the rural areas. Nobody ventures out into the countryside to look at the needs of the people there. And it is ironic because after the earthquake, the international community, the United Nations, the Haitian government came together and said, we want to revitalize our rural spaces. We want to take this opportunity to decentralize the country, which over decades during Duvalier and then afterwards during the reforms, some of them initiated by U.S. administrative policies, really centralized this country and took away the essence of what rural life in Haiti was like. It was a viable place. People were able to survive. But that was not acted upon. All the attention continues to go into the major cities for many good reasons. I mean, that's where the humanitarian crisis is gravest. But an opportunity was missed to funnel attention and resources into the revitalization of rural spaces, excuse me, so as to absorb some of the excess population that, by and large, was one of the major causes why this earthquake was so devastating. If you have a city that is laid out to be home to a population of perhaps 300 to 500,000 people, but you have over 2 million living there, no wonder people are being crushed to death in their small little dwellings at the time of a 7.0 earthquake. And so there's many factors that caused this. but we want to focus on really helping a small group of folks with targeted intervention, with participatory and inclusive, really community-driven projects to help those folks help themselves. Haitians do not want handouts, and Haitians want to be heard as a dignified human being. And too long that has been ignored, and we would love the opportunity to spread the word and to help physically, hands-on, for them to develop a better prospect for themselves. So to answer your question, the situation has not gotten better. But this reminds me of traveling to Haiti. The people there just have such a creative blood in them, so much spirit, whether it's the music, whether it's creative arts.